I'd like to ask you a question. Maybe two, if you don't mind. So first question, do you play Genshin Impact? For those of you who said yes, then who is your favorite character? Think about it for a second. I will wait. No rush. You don't have to raise your hand. You could just say it out loud if you want.
Furina.
Not that loud? Didn't have to say it that loud. Okay. But yes, that is an excellent pick. Exquisite. Based on some polls of the most popular characters amongst fans for 2025, there is a very high chance that you said one of these characters. Neuvillette, Flins, Columbina, Arlecchino, Furina, Zhongli, Wanderer, Durin, Skirk, or even Xiao. Did you say one of these characters? Yeah, I wasn't listening before, to be honest. Cool! You are not alone. But what do most of these popular, lovable characters have in common? If you said trauma, then, well, yes, that is true. But what else? Yes, 80% of those characters I just listed are gay. Yup. It's gonna be one of those videos. Okay, I guess I should say that I and many other fans interpret some of these characters and some other of the best written characters in the game to be queer-coded. Source? Trust me, bro. No, like actually, like trust me, specifically me. Because I mean, look at all these videos I've made. Look at the runtime of all of them combined. Yes, I am one of the annoying gay shipper final bosses. So I have put in the time and the hours to research, contemplate, and argue my stance for many a Genshin character that I think is queer-coded, so I think that I'm kind of, pretty qualified to make such a statement, honestly. I have the research, girl. Give it a break, okay? And amidst all of this scholarly, life-changing, world-shattering research that I've done for the academia, yes, I have noticed that some of the best or most popular characters in Genshin Impact are also in a very popular gay ship amongst a fan base or are headcanoned to be queer in some way, shape, or form. Now, this leads me very logically to the conclusion that the best characters in the game are queer-coded, and that this game is at its best when it's gay as hell. And I mean it. I am being serious. Like, I'm actually being dead ass. So let me convince you that Genshin Impact is only good when it's gay. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is E, as in everything, everywhere, all at once will be gayer, and that's a threat. This video is going to be a little bit more of an unhinged, relaxed video, and we haven't talked about Genshin in a while, so I am super happy to be back talking about Genshin Impact and being absolutely batshit crazy about it. Again, it's been a while. It's nice to be home. And if at any point in the video you're like, damn, this bitch is cooking, then please give me a like and or subscribe to the channel for more videos like these. And if you would like to support me even more, then please consider becoming a member on the Ko-fi. Ko-fi.com/E-is-social to get a shout out at the end of every single video and to see videos like these super duper early. Thank you so much to our existing Ko-fi members, and no more tomfoolery. Let's go. I have many good opinions. One of those being that Genshin Impact does get a little gay with it from time to time. And another good opinion I have is that your mental health is extremely, exceptionally important. So I'm happy to say that this video is sponsored by BetterHelp to better help me back up that claim. Did you see what I did that? As I've said in the past, there are a lot of rumors and misinformation circling around the company, so I really encourage you all to read the multiple resources I have gathered in the description. I personally experienced BetterHelp in 2020, and they have actively changed my life dead ass, okay? Back then, I honestly thought that everyone experienced exactly what I was experiencing, and I was just way weaker at handling it. But much to my surprise, which shouldn't have been a surprise, I do actually have a lot of mental illness, and I credit my BetterHelp therapist with validating what I was experiencing and putting me onto the path of getting help. Since then, I've taken my mental health so much more seriously, and I wouldn't have even started if it wasn't for my BetterHelp therapist. BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. BetterHelp connects you with a professional, licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Meeting with your therapist is super flexible, as you can meet with them via messaging, video call, or phone call. And one of the biggest hurdles in traditional therapy is finding a therapist you actually like. If you don't vibe with them, it is a nightmare and a half to find another one. But with BetterHelp, finding the right therapist is made so much easier. BetterHelp matches you with a vetted professional in as little as a couple of days after you answer a few questions on their website. And if you aren't vibing with that one, you can switch therapists until you find the right fit. This is genuinely the #1 reason why I recommend BetterHelp. They carefully vet every therapist on the platform, and with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, you can rest assured that BetterHelp is here to help. Starting is the hardest part, so let BetterHelp make it easier. So let's begin your mental health journey today. Use my link betterhelp.com/e-is-social to get 10% off on your first month of therapy and to just get started. More information in the description, as I said, and again, thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. And now we're gonna go talk about more gay people. Like, today's a good day. Today is a good day. So as you heard me say in the beginning, I'm going to make a crazy statement right now and argue that Genshin Impact's writing is at its best when there are gay hintings, whispers, or opportunities for a queer reading on the vast majority of characters, or at least the most well-written of characters. Let's take two of the most popular regions within Genshin Impact. Let's talk about Fontaine and Sumeru first, both of which are pretty highly regarded when it comes to overall writing, atmosphere, and cast. And honestly, I argue that it is not a coincidence that a large portion of both casts have some of the best homoerotic subtext in this game. Right, there is a whiff of homosexuality amongst many of those members of both casts. Sumeru has one of the heavyweight champs of gay ships, being Kaveh and Alhaitham. I mean, that's a Hall of Fame yaoi right there. And also we've got Tighnari and Cyno. I would say Tignity, but you guys make fun of me for saying that, even though Tignity sounds so much more pretty than Tighnari. Give it a break. Anyways, Tighnari and Cyno are also very popular and very married couple coded. Argue with a wall, okay? Or go watch this video here. Jet in Sumeru is canonically a lesbian, okay? There is zero room for an alternative interpretation there. And though she is an NPC, she is also a fan favorite. So much so that she got a special character illustration dedicated just to her. Not many NPCs get that. Shout out Enjo, I also think you're gay. I have no reason why. That's just the vibe I get from you. No further questions at this time. Wanderer is a huge favorite amongst the fan base, still making top 10 in many polls even into late 2025. And I argued in this video here that he has a very trans-coded backstory that trans and queer gendered folk relate to en masse. In Fontaine, we have the best Yuri that has ever graced this goddamn earth, okay? Navia and Clarant. I'm rabid. There should honestly be more fans of this ship. I argue. And I actually made a whole video on why they are so good here. I swear to God, I've been working. I've been working hard. Risley and Nouvelette are, and I cannot stress this enough, all-time Hall of Famers when it comes to shipping gay people in this game. So much so that it was one of the most popular ships of the year on AO3 out of literally every pairing ever written in all of fandom for that year. Arlecchino, who canonically goes by Father, is another example of an amazing character that can be read as genderqueer and is still in the top 10 of people's favorites of 2025. And if you're wondering where I got all of this top 10 2025 information, well, I got it from several different sources that polled different audiences, so the results varied, but the characters I listed at the beginning of the video, Wanderer, Arlecchino, Farina, Flynn's, etc., were characters that were pretty much like repeated on almost every single poll, no matter who was surveyed. So yes, that is where I'm pulling this from. Continuing, outside of Sumeru and Fontaine, other favorites favorites include Zhongli, old Peepa from literally the beginning of the game, being a favorite like 5 years ago, who I argued here has a genderqueer interpretation, and he is also in a very popular pairing with Child, and it's still a popular ship to this day. I mean, it's got some sauce. Our lovely A is adored, and she and Yae Miko are kind of like the poster child of Yuri within Genshin Impact. Like, you see those two interact and you're like, okay. Right. Columbina, a new favorite in the news region, is in a ship with Sandrone, I believe is how you say her name. I've been calling her Sandrone this whole time. Embarrassing. And many people love, like, go apeshit crazy on this ship if my timeline and comment sections have anything to say about it. Nefer and Lauma were also in the top 10 in a few different polls, and they are an insanely popular pairing right now. Again, if my timeline and comment section has anything to say about it. And yes, one of the next few videos I am planning will be on their queer coding and also Columbina and Sandrone. So stick around and subscribe if you don't want to miss it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, like hit the bell too, like. Xiao is still largely adored, and for good reason. And I have a pretty strong argument for a bi reading for him, since he acts like a little puppy with a crush for both Ether and Lumine, so it's kinda hard to dismiss that one. Now, I could keep going on forever with even more characters and how they relate to a queer interpretation, but you may have noticed that I haven't really mentioned anyone from Natlan. Look at my Archon, bruh. I'm going to jail. I don't really need to talk about that. But back to mentioning Natlan, or lack thereof of mentioning Natlan. Yeah, so about that. Do you know what nation flopped so hard that people just kind of overall ditched the game for a period of time because of it? That was kind of Natlan. You know what nation had like 0 popular queer ships? Natlan. Yeah. Coincidence? I'm literally arguing it's not a coincidence right now, so stop looking at me like that. First off, I've made quite a few videos about my complicated thoughts on Natlan, so I won't repeat myself too much, but my recent thoughts are, after some time away from the game and after Natlan finished, are that 1, colorism is still an issue. It's been since the beginning, and it still is today. People seem to have forgotten, and everybody just kind of likes Genshin again, and it's like, I thought we were still, colorism is still an issue, by the way. Like, it didn't like go away because Natlan's not the focus anymore. Like, it's still there. But other than that, very reasonable criticism of the game. I personally loved the overall story of Natlan, and I have been an enjoyer of the overall story since day one. But I will admit, I am not as emotionally invested in the Natlan cast as I am about other regions' casts. And I also personally don't really have a ship amongst the Natlan cast that I don't play about. I mean, Aoife and Auroran, I believe, was probably the most popular ship to come out of that region, and it's very cute, but I'm personally not super invested in it, and I have not seen it talked about as much as I've seen the other ships. And I love Sitlali. She's probably my favorite, but I don't really ship her with anyone. And people love Kanich, but the only ship I have really seen with him has been with Mualani, which is cute, but also, again, not super popular. And don't you dare bring up Kanich and Ahau. I am not in the headspace for that right now. Please have some respect. But Shalonen and Mawika should have been a home run of a Yuri ship, dude. Should have been hook, line, and motherfucking sinker. But unfortunately, Mawika was one of the more lackluster things about Natlan. Very sad to kind of admit something like that. She's just kind of a flat character in the fact that she's just really perfect. She's just very competent. And even when she messes up, there weren't really any repercussions to her mess ups. And I actually argued here that I liked that for her personally, because I think characters like that can and should exist sometimes. And I also thought it was like super funny that the only human Archon is the only one with their shit together. You know, like if you look at her alongside the Archons, in that point of view, I think she fits in as a great addition. Like, I feel like we needed an Archon like her that was just like, that there was like nothing wrong with her. And also she's human. Like, that's so funny. Like, have you seen Zhongli and Venti? Girl. But anyways, tangent aside, regardless, there just isn't enough there in her character to play around with, to stretch and pull into a fun interpretation of her and Shallonen falling in love. For a ship to hit with fans, it's gotta have flaws and problems, you know, like how humans also have flaws and problems, and we have relationships that inconvenience or hinder or elevate each other, and that's what makes it so saucy. Let's look at a few other ships that I think are good examples of the opposite of like a Mawika Shallonen situation. I feel like Kaveh and Alhaitham are a really good example of the opposite of this, because these two are some of the most complex characters this game has ever graced us with. Alhaitham is heavily coded to be autistic. He cares about Kaveh very deeply, though at first glance it might seem otherwise. He's also like kind of lazy and does the bare minimum and doesn't strive for the highest positions, even though he is unfortunately the most competent person around. And he is very intelligent, which matches very well with Kaveh's intelligence. And he's also kind of an asshole. I say that endearingly. No, I don't. Kaveh, on the other hand, is an anxiety-riddled, guilt-riddled man whose biggest op is himself, and his whole journey throughout the game is finding self-love and forgiveness, with Alhaitham playing a key role in aiding in his journey. And they have a complicated past together. They have a very complicated present together. There's tension, there's angst, there's conflicting wants and needs. It's very tea at the end of the day. So with two characters so well written and with so much complexity and a shared past, there is no wonder why their ship is one of the most popular, you know? There's just so much juice, there's tea, there's tragedy. There's so much that fans can play around and have fun with when making fan-made content. Another great example to compare this to is Navia and Clarand. We watch as Navia and Clarand tentatively mend their friendship after Clarand, you know, like, killed Navia's father. So, like absolute cinema, dude. Absolute cinema. That's so good. When I first heard that Clarand killed Navia's father, I was like, oh, I'm obsessed with this. My Yuri meter went ding. Another great example is Nuvaled and Wriothesley. Their long distanceness adds a sense of forbiddenness, as Wriothesley literally is the warden and used to be a criminal, and Nuvaled is like the judge that put him in jail. Like, there's tea. Like that's okay. You know, like that's good. That's good. And then, you know, Wriothesley's gonna die one day and Nuvaled will not. So there's that too. Also, Inazuma overall was not highly regarded as a story, but one of the most favorite pairings and characters are Yaimiko and Raiden, which I think got well written as time progressed, because there's juice there, girl. A's ideals and principles clashing with a very human part of her, and Miko just, you know, not giving up on her even after all this time. There's so much yearning. Like, there's so much yearning in that. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. We didn't have that kind of juice in those quantities in Natlan, which led to overall less fan engagement. I know there's a good amount of Shallonen Mawika fans out there. I'm just saying overall, looking at the numbers, and also being within the fandom during Natlan, it was not fun. It was not just my portion of the internet either. It was just not a fun time to be a Genshin Impact fan during Natlan. Everybody was pissed all the time. Now those problems seem to like have been gone now that Notcry's here, but you know. And you know what? That's because there were no huge and popular queer ships. And look at the numbers, you know? But now Genshin Impact is so back, dude, because Notcry is so popular right now. And it's not over yet as of writing, so I can't make a conclusive statement on its longevity in the fandom, but its popularity is popularing. And oh wow, I wonder why. Maybe it's cause we have absolutely legendary ships in the making. Nefer and Lauma are celebrated as being gay as hell. Y'all won't shut up about them, which period, have you seen them? Columbina and Sandroni are on a generational run within the community. People are loving the idea of Varka and Flynn's with somebody else. Flynn seems to be the kind of character that everybody just kind of like wants to like put into a relationship with. I love that for him. Shout out to Flynn's. So like Genshin is so back because there's some queer shit happening. Guys, I'm being so for real. And here is the truth, okay? Having a huge portion of the fan base shipping characters in a queer way is a perfect litmus test for how well made the story itself is. okay, if you don't want to have fun, then yes, these characters being queer-coded or highly regarded as having a whiff of homosexuality is more correlation to them being super popular than causation. Because the bottom line is that these characters are just well written. If the characters are dynamic and lifelike and full of depths and complexities, and their relationships with the other characters reflect that, then people are gonna have material they can use to expand on their headcanons or interpretations. People are gonna be drawn in by the inner turmoil that maybe they can relate to of certain characters, and the fans are going to want to engage with them and see more of them in the fandom space. So I believe that when there are loads of fan-made content for your characters being shipped in a gay way, then you know you made it, man. Like, you know you created something so intriguing, so complex that people want to have fun. And a lot of these people are marginalized people who want to see themselves in these incredible characters. Which leads me to saying, in these times, I am gonna get mad if I see any of you guys rolling your eyes, moaning and groaning, and saying stuff like, stop making everything gay, or not everything has to be gay. Dude, without those characters having some wiggle room for a queer interpretation, then your favorite game is dog shit. It's cooked, chopped. Okay, definitely not in all cases, but relax. But my bottom line is if people are making everything gay in your video game, then you know the writing is fire. Hold up, his writing is this fire? Yes! Which leads me to honestly, my main argument of the video. That last one wasn't my main one. I know. Plot twist, what? Yes, I argue that it is yours. Yes, yours. You on the couch. It is your duty to keep making these characters gay. And I don't just mean it from like a writing perspective and to like show those dude bros. No, I mean it as a way to nurture your soul. This video is going to be turning to more of a serious place. So fair warning. I think that my subscribers were probably expecting a Lauma Nefer analysis from this video that I'm posting, and I promise guys that is absolutely coming. Don't worry, stick with me. But I really wanted to make this specific video, and I didn't know how to do it. But I want to talk about what is going on. Dude, yes, I am gonna take something as unserious as shipping gay Genshin people and make it serious. So listen to me. I want to be honest with you guys. I am very, very worried by what is unfolding in my country, in America right now. I know the majority of my audience isn't in America, but unfortunately the shit that we do does have an effect around the globe. Sorry about that. So I do want to talk to everybody about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is a horrible time to be a minority in this country. It is such a diabolically evil time. I don't think, and I don't really want to regurgitate all of the headlines of everything happening to convince you that things are really bad, though I do suggest that you stay informed, and I suggest channels on YouTube like Leisha Miller for her analysis on everything happening, as well as Taylor Lorenz, who is a fantastic reporter. I will link other YouTubers I enjoy listening to in the description, and I do encourage you all to regularly stay aware and informed on what is happening and just how many crimes are being committed. From the genocide in Gaza to Black and brown people being yanked off of American streets, to AI teetering us on the edge of societal collapse. It's a scary time to be alive. It is. And I feel like this time last year, I was trying to sound the alarm on the sort of really toxic, hateful mentality that I'm seeing on the news being reflected within fandom spaces. I was saying that a year ago, and now it's gotten so much worse. And I am still technically, in comparison to others, new to having a platform, and I'm still figuring out how to use it in an ideal way. So I want to figure out what I could add to this absolutely overwhelming historical events, plural, that we are living through. So yes, we started talking about gay Genshin people, and now we're talking about the state of everything. I realize the jump. I realize it. But I wanted to use this video as a way to carry on some of the words that I've heard from Leisha Miller, as well as other people in this space. Please find and join your community. Whether that be in person, ideally in person, or online, find your community. This is where I'm tying in the gay Genshin people, because the community that has been formed around Genshin Impact and within Genshin Impact, it is life-changing. I have met some of my closest friends because of Genshin Impact. I have met my amazing editor Kelp, hey Kelp, say hi, because of Genshin Impact. I have people in my life that I can't even imagine not having in my life because of Genshin Impact. And that community is so important right now. The No Kings protests, if you have been seeing, which were historical, proved to everyone in this country that they are not alone, that no matter how red your state is, there are millions of people out there who are unhappy and aware of the wrongs that are being committed and that are willing to say something. This country is in a state of free fall. So I believe that the advice that resonates with me the most is something I want to share with you, which is introduce yourself to your neighbors. Join a local club, a local queer center. Learn people's names near you and try to create a community that you can fall back on when times get rough, because they want us isolated. They want us fighting each other. They don't want us connected. Now more than ever, community is exactly what we need, because we're not alone. As I said earlier, the No Kings protests proved it. There are people like you halfway around the world. And I understand that finding a community is way easier said than done. I am struggling to do that. I'm trying to get out more. I stay inside way too much, and I'm trying to connect with my community some more. And it's honestly been super fun, the few people that I've met so far. And I also understand that not everyone is in a safe place to do that physically. So this is, again, where the beginning of this video comes into play. Fandom is made up of many queer, just many marginalized people. Before fandom became kind of mainstream, it was a place online for the marginalized kids to get together and be weird and geek the hell out and share love for something that many look down on. This is why so many ships and fandoms like Genshin Impact are queer. It's a reflection of, yes, good writing in a game, but also a reflection of a beautiful, beautiful online community bonding over something they love. And that is what I really want to harp on the most. We need that now more than ever in the history of ever. So yes, I have made and will continue to make a queer analysis of our favorite Genshin Impact characters, but don't let the lack of evidence stop you, bitch. Make everything gay, okay? Make every character so gay and be loud and proud about it online. Find your people. Be kind of annoying. Don't send death threats though. But be kind of unapologetically queer. If you want to headcanon any character as trans, yes, dude, do it. Do you want to ship Varka and Risley together just because they're beefy and that's it? Yes, dude, be happy, be cringe, laugh, and have fun together. Because thriving and finding joy with your community amidst all of this is a huge you to this horrific regime. And if you see any dude bro saying something like, stop making everything gay, hey dude, shut up. Now more than ever, you cannot be saying that. Oh, you're gonna cry because some people were like, shut up, straight boy. Oh, you're gonna cry. Oh my, that's terrible. Do you see the news, brother? Nothing bad is happening to straight men right now. Shut up. The worst thing that can happen to a straight white guy is his feelings get hurt. So from my influence in a fandom area, I would like to encourage everyone to just make everything gayer, okay? Because yes, this game is better when people are gay, okay? This game is better when there's enough complexity in these characters that we get to have fun and make them gay and explore some gender identities with them and to talk with each other and to make art with them. The game is at its best when that's happening, okay? I want you to just love your community of weirdos. And if you can, join a local in-person get-together. Even if this encourages one person to involve themselves in community more, to join local protests, to volunteer more, to maybe help out with some local politics. If I just encourage one person to do something like that, this video would have been a success. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to practice what I preach and just stay woke. Because woke is coming back, okay? And if making everything in Genshin Impact queer brings a smile to your face, then that smile is more important than anything else. I'm going to be sharing links below on more information on where to find local queer centers or just information in general to use as we move forward and to encourage you to not give up. Everything is bad right now, but there's also a glimmer of hope in the horizon. Cling on to that. Use that. Let it fuel you to keep going. And yes, I am aware it is silly to use Genshin Impact to deliver this message, but that's what I do on this channel. I use video games to share my thoughts on important stuff like this. So gay Genshin Impact forever, man. So I would love to use my comment section as a community right now, which we already have an amazing community. So if you're looking to join our community, you could do so in the comment section, or you can join the Discord. The link to the Discord is also in the description. And since you're down there, tell me about your favorite Genshin Impact character. Tell me if you headcanon them them as queer and tell me what kind of queer. Like, and tell me more about your headcanon on their identity and what made you come to that conclusion, or just like because you felt like it. Just tell me something within Genshin Impact, or really anything that you love right now that makes you happy, in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. And if you really like this video, then please consider giving it a like and also subscribing. I mean, we have a really great community and we make awesome videos like these. So if you like what you see, then stay around, girl, stay around. And hit the notification bell because the algorithm is mean. And if you would like to go the extra mile, then please consider becoming a member on the Ko-fi. Ko-fi.com/e-is-social, where for just $5 a month, you'll be able to see videos like these super duper early and to get a shout out at the end of every single video. Sponsors are kind of rough right now with this current political climate, especially for queer creators like me. If you would love to donate or help support in any way, shape, or form, all donations will be going to keeping the lights on and make sure me and my editor are working hard to make more videos like these for you. So every little bit counts, whether you're liking or donating. It really means the world. So thank you so much in advance. And since we're here, let's celebrate and thank our amazing Ko-fi members. So thank you so much to Alien Eyes, Jonah, Lewandrill, Joanne, Summers, Blue Ink Alchemist, Pauline, Shalami, Onyxide, Atticus, Ayake, Waxwing, Bus Driver, Wokapi, Klee, Pandas Bombus, Decals, Kiara, Tranilla, Moe, Zilfer, Luel, Pterodactyl, Mystic Foxfire, Jessica C, Mitsuji, Dana, Blue Swanson, A, Bella, Evie Iloris, Now Joy Fan, Aries, Zero, Desi, M the Sweetheart Lover, Jollyama Festa, Calton, Fopapopolis, Ashulay, Lixum, Isaiah, Ghostel, Miro, Chicken Salad, Danny, Huaruruk, Tiger Festival, and an extra special thank you to our amazing donators that helped us reach our recent goal. So thank you so much, so much to Topa, Castiel, Miss Toasty, Bethsty, and Himbo. Thank you all for your amazing generosity, and thank you so much for helping keep this channel going. And if you like to hang out, then we go live here on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/eissocial. So join on whichever platform you are most comfortable with. And we're going to be streaming the Genshin Impact Archon quests pretty frequently, so definitely turn on notifications to know when we go live. And if you'd like to connect more, then I am eissocial everywhere except for Twitter, but I do have a blue sky. Okay, well, that is it from me. So stay woke and make everything gay, okay? That is a threat, period. And if I don't see you on stream, then I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye! Is it giving Pearl? And not the whale from SpongeBob. Like pearlescence?